All right. No more tooth talk.
Hey,
No more tooth talk. It's
Hey
official.
guys,
how's it going, Doc? Doing great.
Good.
How
How
about
about you?
yourself?
I'm good.
Doing
I'm good.
good. What time of day
where
you
you
got where
been?
you're coming from?
It's 2 in the night right now.
Oh, baby. Thanks
So
for
where are
meeting
you
us
now?
very late.
So
Nice.
yeah, just because you're doing something incredible right now, right? And we'll obviously let you get into it. You obviously have a different path, I'll say, into the dental field. But even before that, Romaniac, tell us about it.
So Romaniac was kind of the start of like the whole social media journey. We just started it. I just wanted to show more people where they can actually get a place to study, because I just went there and I was so surprised that it's like so much easier to get in. And I made like a website, and then my best friend, who's now an MD, he was like, hey, we should actually create videos to get like free publicity. And that's how things just started going. Like we had this YouTube channel which blew up, and then I realized like, hey, I love this. I love video creation, social media, YouTube videos. My real passion is like video editing
Travel.
and like yes, that got me into this.
Right
So-
time, man.
Yeah.
This is big. Yeah, this is the right time.
So I have looked at, kind of your path to getting here, because to my knowledge, Dental Scale started March that is the first post that I could find of Dental Scale is March of this year. Like you just said before that, it seems like video editing, media, and you do a fantastic, the millions of people that are going to listen to this, just Google David, pronounce it for me.
Nies.
Nies. Nies.
Yeah.
I would look up dentist because there's another David Nies. And Instagram, YouTube, your content is fantastic.
Crisp.
When did you start all of that?
My personal brand, I literally started that like 4 months ago. Like when I literally took it serious. Before it was just my personal. So yeah, I was like, now is the time to, I always help people to grow their brand. And I knew like I need to lead by example. And it can be tough at times to also post about that. But I knew I want to grow, especially organically, to just reach more people, to create more opportunity, and just help more people, because I think there's a big demand. There are a lot of people who try to help with it, but they don't really have the background to have an impact. And so my big goal is to kind of become, I would say, when it's about marketing acquisition, the biggest, or like a household name in the dental field. That's like my life goal, to really stick to the industry, not hop around. I mean, I have different people who approach me like, can I help with this, with that? I'm like, no, I'm all in on dental, and just, help other dentists to scale, and and just to understand how this whole new space of social media actually works.
What's it like running a business with your dad?
It's actually cool. I mean, the American side of things is what I do fully by myself. With my dad, we kind of have like, let's say, a few clients that we serve like in a German-speaking market that he takes care of. But I would say it's one of the best things. So I learned from him on the dental side, because he's a dentist too. And it's nice to collaborate also right now on these kind of things.
What's the draw for coming to US to get?
Oh man, that's a good question. It's a very long story. So how that came about is that when we had been in dental school, my first client was my perio professor.
Okay.
So we had been in the course room, and he didn't know that I had the YouTube channel. And at that time, we had been pretty big, I would say. Like people, I would take like 3-4 selfies a day on the street, travel, be on live TV. We were invited to all like TV shows and stuff. And my peers would of course know about it, but he didn't know. And he was just blaming like marketing and how hard it is to grow like his practice. And I was just sitting there. I was like, this is all bullshit. Like, I believe that if you're good at this, you can sell sand in the desert.
Yeah.
And so I just challenged him. So it was in the course room, and then we were just discussing forth and back, and he was just asking me like, why do you think, like, you seem so confident in this? And everyone was already smirking, was like, yeah, like, because they knew like I knew something that he didn't. And so yeah. And so I just, afterwards, I told him, I was like, yeah, I have this YouTube channel. So we help people to get their spot. We take care of their documentation and whatever. And we get only through organic content, 10 organic bookings per day on our schedule for like I would say mid-ticket product. And so then he invited me over to his practice the next day. And I knew at that point already, because the whole YouTube thing is very tiring. And there was one aspect I didn't like. I didn't like to be known for entertainment. Like, we all know all these actors and it seems like this fantastic lifestyle, but I think it's very bad. Like we, for example, would go heli skiing, which was a life dream of mine.
Oh, man, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, and it was amazing, but it's not that amazing if you basically get that for free, but then you have to create the content. You have to be so aware of everything you do. You have to afterwards come home, you have to sort the SD cards, then you have to post all the content. You have to make sure that they are happy with it. And so I was like, I would much rather like to have a business where I just decide, hey, I want to go heli skiing, I just pay for it and go.
Yeah.
And so when I worked with him, I realized that. So one of my classmates was like, what is it that you will do for your own practice? And I showed him exactly on a whiteboard what I would do. And while I was doing that, I looked at it and I was like, this is so hard to scale up and it takes so much effort and you really need to be super passionate about dentistry and really the clinical part. But I realized I'm so much more passionate about the business side of things and I never planned to be an entrepreneur or something. And so, long story short, worked with him, brought him also to like 15,000 organic TikTok followers in 3 months, 5,000 on YouTube. And then from there, I started working with German clients where I collaborated with my dad. But I realized that Germans are, in regards to fulfillment, is very good because Germans are reliable, but they are very slow in business, like overthink everything. And I got tired of it because I'm a bit like, I'm a bit different in that sense. So then I talked to some people who were also in some masterminds and someone said like, why don't you guys just do the US? Because our English is good because school was in English. My best friend is from the UK. Then we just started in the US and my best friend, after some time, he went into sales. And that's also why you saw the first post of Dental Scale, because I did like a rebranding. So I'm actually working longer in that field, but I fully launched a new brand with a bit of a different strategy end of last year. So November.
Okay.
Is that
makes
Omega
sense.
Digital IO?
Yes, exactly. That was what it was before.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you keep saying the word organic. So how do you keep it organic? Like what is organic to you? Because you're in front of the camera. You're obviously staging it.
Yeah. So what I refer to in terms of organic is especially that you don't pay for views, so that you really try to organically put content out there and grow that way. And I mean, in general, it is a bit more difficult because it takes more time. It's more the long run strategy, because you can't just pay for following, because in the end, that kills your account. And so you really need to understand in a very deep level how to attract people with just simple content that you put out, so that they follow you, they start liking you, they see your content every day, and they start trusting you. And that way you basically can create a very strong brand. Like all these people that we know, if it's Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, there's so many. And Alex Hormozy, for example, as well. They understood that if you play the long run game and you still can, do paid ads. I, for example, run paid ads for my offer. So when I want to work with people, but just to give value and to track people into understanding who I am and how I can bring value to their life, I think organic is like one of the most important things that especially dentists are massively sleeping on. And still to this day, I help dentists to scale, but majority, they just want to do like, hey, can we run some ads and then book appointments? And
I was just going to ask that. Yeah. How many of us are like, can I throw some money at the problem and put it to bed that way? Yeah. And it's like, I was going to say like, if some very wealthy dentist approached you and they're like, look, I just want to throw 20 grand at the marketing, what would you say to them?
I would say that in general, you have the team, you have sales in terms of, the skills of the people doing the consult. You have also, in the end, the whole branding. And most importantly, I would say all the systems that are set up in the practice. Since there are some where they have great success and others with the same kind of strategy have problems to convert the patients. So what I would always say, and that's what I always recommend, because that's my main passion, I help people with the main issue of not having a lot of time. So we definitely have this strategy of generating leads of people who are interested from the local area. But more importantly, I would say is the factor that you should kind of build a brand next to it. Because when people see your ads, they're going to click on it. They want to see who are you. And you should make sure that you have some content out there where at least you answer the most asked questions. Since that is the big thing of social media. It can either make you one of the most well-known people that does good business, but if done wrong, you're just putting money and you have a very bad return. And then the worst case, a negative one.
I've lived that
So,
when I've tried to grow mine for a couple of years. Yeah. Go ahead, Alex.
so you're scaling practices, you're building the brand, right? You're getting them to have a uniform image, and then you're getting them to work remotely. So is this a new venture, or how did this evolve from the branding and what you were doing before?
Yeah, so the what we do with the remote thing, so I have like multiple things that I do offer and that I help people with. The remote thing, for example, is that I help dental practices to actually start moving more online with their consultations so that they don't get caught up in the practice. For example, you would see always people getting those appointments throughout the whole week of new people, and you will know that sometimes people don't show up. So you're just wasting kind of your time, because what do you do with half an hour? You're not going to sit down and do something else. You're just on your phone, you drink a coffee, talk to your people. So I was like, there has to be a better way. And I just always ask myself, and this is, I think, which is the great part, if you have a passion for something and you kind of venture a bit out parallel to it, you have a good view on it. And I was like, what is it that I would do? And people ask me this, and I'm like, if I would work as a dentist right now, which I don't do no more, I would do all the consultations remote. I would work on my brand. I would run ads to get those people in. And I would literally just hop on a Zoom meeting with them. Doesn't matter where they are from, as long as it's reasonable. If I would be in the US, I would target the whole of the US. Talk to them, do a treatment where it is, of course, makes sense for people to travel, and over the Zoom meeting, kind of do the consultation. And that's what we set up for multiple practices, where they talk to the people first. If they don't have an X-ray, they do it somewhere else. And when they are at the point where it seems to be reasonable, then you just have them come around. So you're not wasting your time. And you can literally block out a whole Friday. You just jump on calls. And make sure that your other 4 days for the next week are booked with consults.
So
How
are
have
you
you-
like, I was going to say, are
Go
they
ahead.
financially qualifying the patients on these initial intakes? So like if
For
you're
ex-
going to do
For
a
example,
big rehab. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How have you gotten any pushback from dentists who are like, these patients just keep coming in to get X-rays and then never come back?
Then they're gone.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, it
so
can
how
be
are you navigating those relationships?
what I would say is very important in that kind of sense when people would do that. I mean, we talk about the typical tire kickers, people just shopping around. The main thing with that is that there is a different issue. Like if that happens to you, and we all know this thing of people saying, oh, the leads are bad and whatever. Like I never complain about leads ever. Like, right now I also jump on calls, and some people are just not that qualified. But I don't use the word qualified. I rather say it's not a good fit for that person. But there is some other issue that actually happens where, for example, and this is the big thing that I always see. I just hopped off a call with a dentist who told me marketing didn't work for him. And one big factor is that he does full arches and he charges more, and all people that he wanted to work with told him he has to lower his prices, which I think in the first place, I don't do that with anyone. It's a race to the bottom. So you can charge whatever as long as it's reasonable. And if you give value, like if I come out of dental school and I think, oh, I'm this, all bougie, cocky dentist, and I say, oh, I charge much more than the rest because I'm just premium and I'm a super nice guy. I need a reason. Like, what is it that I have that is more valuable to people than Clear Choice, where they can just get the whole thing for 17,000. This guy was charging 45,000. And so this is one of the important things where these things have to be set in place and be well navigated so you can actually transfer the value so that these people not just only come for the X-ray, for example.
Yes, mostly you use like the term, I think you said middle ticket offer. What do you mean by that? 10 grand? What does that kind of look like typically?
You mean in the previous business or in terms of?
Just like, like for the AI caller, say you were going to use that and get some clients lined up, or for the Zoom chats on Fridays that you're going to qualify the patients. I assume this isn't like for somebody that just needs a single crown. This is people looking for bigger therapies, maybe set of veneers, all on X, some sort. Is it kind of that level dentistry?
Yes, like what we mainly focus only on high ticket, actually in dentistry, high ticket treatments. I would say the main reason I think in every business, the high ticket is the easiest one. And the main reason for it is that you don't need much volume to actually make a return. Like, for example, I work with an amazing dentist, and she's a great example to just show how the difference is made with having all the different systems in place in the practice. So I do the same thing for her than for everyone else, but she posted organic before. It wasn't amazing, but she tried. And so now when we start working, I just told her, hey, doc, change this. I don't have to explain to her on how do I upload on Instagram, how do I put my camera. These are things that if you are really willing to build something, you should have figured out already. I just told her, hey, make this different. For example, she was hiring like a videographer, and then she was planning to get her hair done. I was like, doc, stop all that crap. Like I've done it before. Like my first brand, like the Romanian one. I had gear worth $30,000. We were traveling all around, wasting time. It was a great experience, but it was not sustainable. So when I helped my professor, I already made it much leaner. But right now, I teach people the same way that I create content, which is simply just with an iPhone and just using yourself. Like you should be the authentic brand, which means I just came out of a consult. I realized something very specific about a patient, and I want to share that value. For example, the patient was afraid because of a very specific thing. I just pull up my phone. I think about a very good hook, since that's very important. For example, I would say, like, if I want to track patients, I would say, I just came out of a consultation with one patient that is super afraid of dentists, and he actually told me that it's about the smell of the practice. So I just want to run you through the situation that he had and how we could actually comfort him in the chair. So make sure you watch the video till the end to kind of make your next visit a bit more, easier for yourself. Yeah. And then you give them the value. Duck. You just talk like you would talk to any friend about it. In the end, you give the call to action. And so I grew like that by 15,000 followers by simply just doing that, because it saves time. I can record 10 videos in the time that back then I needed to travel somewhere, get all the gear ready, film, and do all these things. Yeah, it's a lot about the efficiency. And to come back to the question when it's about the high ticket, she does like TMJ and kind of airway treatments, like airway expansion.
Okay.
And she wanted to do first like also implants, like everyone. I said, like, look, this is a blue ocean. I'm a huge fan of TMJ treatments. I think they're very valuable, and that's also why I only do those things with my partners, because I want to do stuff that I like. I don't like aligners. I'm not a huge fan of them. So I loved surgery. It was my best subject. So that's why I help people with that. And I told her, you should do TMJ. Ticket price is like one treatment is 37,000. And yeah, and profit is 30. So
hard to complain about that. Yeah.
If you put it in perspective, I said, look, doc, you just need to close one case until you have exceeded the amount that you pay me and you pay in marketing. And so when you just close one, you are good. You have the money back. And you see the difference. Imagine someone works with me. He only wants to promote single crowns.
Yeah.
How many people does he have to actually consult, walk through the process? Everything has to go right to make back the money. And that's why I think high ticket is the easiest thing to do in any business.
Yeah. If anyone, I think that's a major thing. If anyone's out there, docs, listening, you're trying to grow that brand, you don't need to be a crazy person. You don't need to buy the nicest Nikon camera in the world has ever seen. Grab your cell phone and just start kind of talking. Yeah. I thought that was awesome. So thank you for saying that.
Of course. Yeah, I think it's all about efficiency in the end of the day if you really want to push volume. And social media is a lot about volume, because in the end, you never know what really sticks. So just create as much content as you possibly can in a short amount of time and focus on the treatments that you enjoy doing, that your team loves doing, because on the long run, it is much easier to sustain good growth and to also scale up with that.
And dodge burnout and all the negative things on yourself. Yeah. So, I'm super curious. I've watched all your videos about like your AI caller, just like quick and dirty. How exactly does it work? I know it can call a ton of people exactly at once. People always message me and they're like, how does that even work? How could it call 30, 100 people at once? So I guess just a little bit of the nuts and bolts.
Yeah. So in general, AI callers are very interesting. I have to say that we kind of refrained a bit from it. AI in general, because I have the feeling that it's not fully there yet. A second thing is also that people have crazy expectations to it. Like as soon as something is AI, they expect,
the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. So, and I also realized in dentistry, I know a lot of people who have success with it. Like I have right now 2 buddies like visiting from Canada, and they actually do AI infrastructures for real estate agents. And they have good success with it. Like their appointment setter is amazing. But yeah, just to run you through how we also use it is that there are like voice agents that you can set up and prompt so that you basically connect the AI to a specific number, and you then have like a whole infrastructure set up that you connect to a CRM. And you can just, you set up a workflow where you say, hey, if someone tries to call us, please answer the phone. If a new lead comes in, please call them. And then you have different voice agents that just have a specific prompt regarding the specific situation and just have the full conversation. So it fully talks to the people and reacts to whatever they're saying and kind of is prompted in a way where it has one main goal. We set it up for appointment setting, so it would kind of go through different questions. And in the end, it's connected to our CRM where it then offers specific times. And once the time is booked, the people just get a notification like, hey, patient XY got scheduled for Wednesday.
Cool. And I agree with you. I think AI is, everyone thinks it's taking our jobs, it's going to do everything, and probably a big overreach. But I know that was something I thought was really cool, so I wanted to hear a little bit more about that. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Have you guys ever like tried something like that, or like?
I haven't personally used one. I'm sure I've interacted with one and just didn't realize. My wife was on a phone call last Friday, and she gets done with the phone call and she's like, I honestly have no clue if that was a human or an AI. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, it used no filler words. And so what she meant was, when we all talk, well, or yeah, yep, things like that. And she's like, it did not have a filler word in the entire conversation, but she's like, it had different voice tones. It had like kind of a more emotional response. So she got done, and like for half the day, she was thinking like, man, I just got to know if that was an AI call or, So I was kind of curious, like, and the guy I work with, he's 80, so he's not as tech savvy as probably we are, but he gets all these phone calls and he's always like, I think it was a robot. And I'll hear it and I'm like, no way that was a robot. And so I was just curious more about how that's looking.
I think how we have set it up, it was very realistic. Like it was already at a very good point, and we told it to put the filler words as well. So it was
you
actually
could do
doing
that.
Yes.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't even use that.
Yeah, like it really works. Yeah. The only issue I would say is that that is the difference I was talking about in dentistry. Like it's not about the filler words. It's more so that, and that's what we do very different, because I talk to a lot of people and they tell me, look, we had this company, they did our calls, they do exactly what you do. And I say like, yes, what makes our approach different, that is, for example, in dentistry, that like everywhere in sales, you have to understand the real issue. Like, why does someone fill out the form in the first place? They will always tell you up front, oh yeah, I would like to get to know more about the full arches. But if you just book them in by asking simple questions, you qualify them, you get them booked. The main issue will be that there is no real desire from the patient side to kind of come around. That's why there are lots of no-shows. But more importantly, also it makes it much harder for the practitioner to close the case. As if you put it in perspective with a real person. I always, I have my own team. I train them on how to do the calls. And I always say you have to do a proper discovery. Like I want that in every call, the person tells you, for example, hey, no one says that at the beginning, but that's why we need that human relationship where they feel comfortable. They're like, okay, Susie's she's super nice, so I just gonna open up. And they suddenly it goes from, I just, want to eat better to, I was on the wedding of my grandchild. I saw the pictures, it looked terrible and it was awful. I want to have that change because in 1 year, my other grandson gets married. And so this is what AI is not yet capable of doing. And so to really build relationship and have a meaningful call, you need human beings. And that's also why we kind of took a step back. We still are involved in some parts, but I just like that part much more. And it's so much more enjoyable because I have my team. I know that we put food on the table of people. That's the first thing. We create jobs. But more importantly, when we have a meeting, I have like this full meeting with people. We have fun working together. And with AI, it was literally just me and my operations managers just prompting and listening to the calls. And you get tired of it. Like always the same nonsense. And yeah.
AI and its lack of emotion in those things. I think, boy, it'd be scary, man, if it could do all of those things, and maybe that'll come for us. But I'm with you. That's kind of been what I've picked up, I guess, as well, chatting with people about various things. Where do you think it's going to go? Where do you see your company going over the next 1, maybe 5, 10 years? I know you mentioned your end game, your long-term vision, but how are you going to march yourself that direction?
I would say the main thing is to just get better. with what we are doing. And what I realized, and I think it's the same in dentistry or medicine or actually any other job, you have to see the problem as a whole. And I think that this is what we want to improve on. So I wanted to step away from this kind of being seen as a marketing company to really being like a consultancy, or let's call it at least a acquisition consultancy right now. In the future, just being a general one. So to kind of treat the whole kind of problem that a practice has. We started doing that like with the one practice I told you about. I started helping her, like train her on closing. It's not about, I don't think I'm like a super amazing closer, especially not in dentistry because I didn't work much like clinically. But more importantly, it's just about the fact that I do know one or two things about it. And most people just need a second person. Like they need to open up on it. Everyone tells always, oh, I'm amazing. I close everyone, you know, but you want to kind of understand where the issue could lay and have someone else look into it. And with her, she was the first one that I told her this. I was like, listen, I want to really help you with everything. And what we actually did when we launched that high ticket kind of offer with a sleep and airway therapy, it's now 2 weeks. She closed today at this point the second patient, so she's at 74,000 that she made off 1,000 in ad spend. And so the main reason is that I talk to her team, I get to know her team, I train them. It's very small details, but they make the difference in the end. Also on sales, helping with the infrastructure in the practice. Like how do you follow up? Do you have any process? Do you have software in place? So that is my goal, to kind of see it as a whole. And from there, like my really like main goal in the future is to just buy into practices, doing the marketing portion for them, and hopefully then one day like owning multiple practices across the world and just doing what I love most, and that's kind of the acquisition part of dentistry.
Man, I can tell. You mentioned Hormozi. Do you follow Alex Hormozi's content a decent amount?
Yeah. I believe with the amount of times David talked about his offer, he is deep in
I was like,
world.
man, I'm a big Hormozi guy, and I was like, man, you sound like a Hormozi guy too.
Who isn't? Is that one of the people where you started getting a framework of how you, because the language you use is very like, we help people do this, and your offer and all that. So what is your offer now?
Right now, I wouldn't say it's like a very precise kind of offer that most people have, because I realized that came actually through his books. I'm actually not watching so much of his content, to be honest, because I try to always create then rather consume. But when I hit that ceiling where I realized we fix one problem, that is the lead generation, but we create 10 more. Like we can't close, we can't reach them, we can't do this. I was like, I need some kind of, like a reboot. And so I bought his books. I have them here over here. So I got the books. I had them before as a PDF. And I was like, let me just fully study them like we study in dental school, like full on. So I went through the full on books, did my marks, wrote inside like on the different pages how I would actually apply that to myself, and also applied B2B for the dentists.
I've got mine right here, the new ones.
Yes.
I was doing notes on it this morning. So yeah, same boat.
Amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Are we all?
Yes. And Alex has his. Yeah. I mean, it's such a great resource. If you're listening and you don't know who Hormozi is, you've probably lived under a rock. But if you're trying to grow a business, definitely check him out. Yeah. And I agree with a lot of things you talked about, Dr. Nies. Like you said, you uncovered the lead gen for the people, and then it opened up all these things. And honestly, if I wasn't trying to grow my own business, I wouldn't have realized all these other issues that kind of come in. Like I realized, and Alex can attest, I am a terrible closer. I think it's some things that take reps, it takes guidance, it takes mentorship, and it's not something you can't do, but it's something some of us need to learn. And I think there's all these other areas that it sounds like you have a pretty firm grasp on. And I was going to ask you, how did you get such a good grasp with it? Because I feel like I learned a lot from working in the office the last 5 years. So did you just learn in the short amount that you worked in the clinic? Have you just learned by being put through the fire while you've been helping people? Kind of how's that been?
I think it was like a combination of that. Like I actually have the privilege, and that's also what was my ticket into doing this, because it was risky. Like everyone was worried. My dad, not so much. He was really the one who said, like, if you want to do this, do it now. You never will have the chance again. Once you start as a dentist, you have to stick to it. You know the day how busy it gets, and then you can't suddenly say, hey, I want to help other dentists too. Yeah, like you have to go all in. And so that was the first thing where I realized, like, hey, if I want to do this, I have to go all in. And I have the privilege of working with like multiple dentists. And this is the big advantage. So I said, even if I fail, I will work with so many great dentists for now. Like I went to dental school. Right now, I'm in dental business school, basically. Like I work with so many practices, and I'm a huge fan by like learning by doing. Just get started, just do. And so that was one thing. And the second thing is that I learned all the fundamentals of this. And I would say that's a big differentiator by having my first business. So we had no money as students. So we better made sure that that landing page is incredible that we would build, because we get that organic traction. We need clients to generate money organically. So we went through that fire of really having to grind super hard and to learn as quick as possible. And that was my foundation in terms of video editing, scripting, like copywriting, sales, systems, automations, all the CRMs, programming, web design. I mean, all the things that you see on my Instagram or even on my YouTube, it's all done by myself. So now that I hire people, I know what I'm talking about. And I know if someone is bullshitting me if I try to hire him.
Which is critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind on those things, but I completely agree. I think learning by the fire is 1,000%. And for the dentists out there, same thing with their clinical skills, right? Like you're never going to get better at dropping a box on a class 2, and except for dropping boxes on class 2s. So we can talk about it, we can read about it, we can do as much CE, but you just got to do a lot of these things to learn firsthand. Exactly. Yeah, completely agree with you there.
And I also think it's great in your case. I mean, I hear it from your side multiple times. Your mindset is set right, because you say, I know I'm not yet where I should be. I know that I need to learn about sales and closing. And this is the first step. And I think that's also a big difference in like the older generation of dentists to the younger ones, that they don't have so much pride in those kind of things. And they accept that they need to learn those things. And I would recommend that to every young dentist. That's also why I took on some, like what I added as a product is also coaching, because I want, like, this is the best thing that can happen if someone is not telling me, hey, I dropped this money, you do everything. I'm much more fulfilled. And these are my best clients that perform also the best, where they're motivated to learn along the way, learn from me. And it's so much more fun for both sides as well.
Really. That motivated customer, the motivated client. Same thing, right? The patient that's asking about the C flossing technique. That's the person that's going to get in there and actually debride their teeth. The person that you're teaching them about flossing and they're just on their phone in la la land. Yeah, they're never as good. So completely agree in all fronts. It's the motivated person. It's the person asking questions. It's the person that cares that's going to have a better relationship, better outcomes. So that's another awesome point there. Let's see. Is there anything you just want to get out on the pod that you haven't said? Anything you want people to know about you, where you want to go?
Give us your best call to action.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I mean, for any US or Canada based dentist, if you actually want to scale up your dental practice and also your personal brand, I'm more than happy to jump on a call to kind of see if there's something that I can help you with. We kind of help with everything that just has to do with like the business side of dentistry. I would say describes it pretty good. If it's like hiring, if it's acquisition of new patients, if it's your personal brand, you can, I would say, find me best just Instagram Dr. David Nies. And yeah, just shoot me a DM, tell me what it is about, and I'm more than happy to talk about it.
Anybody that's listened, you can tell he is an absolutely lovely human. We've had an awesome conversation. I've talked with him, of course, through DMs and on Instagram as well. Check out his page. Check out his YouTube. We'll be posting these podcasts primarily on YouTube.
All the links. Yeah, tons of clips, and we're going to tag David in probably every single one. So, I mean, this
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Of course,
hopefully you get some rest, man. 2 a.m. That's hard. Appreciate you meeting us on the East Coast time. So that was very kind of you.
Yeah. I mean, we always work till 4. So
okay.
Yeah, the guy, we just had dinner. Yeah.
Well, good for you. Yeah, it's 6 p.m. my time. And so, yeah, I'm not as tough as you. I'd be sawing logs right now. But if you want to build that company, you gotta do those things. So
yeah,
thanks for taking the time to get up in the middle of the night. We'll have to do this again sometime once.
Yeah, for sure.
Both of us are a little bigger.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
Well, hey,
Thanks, David.
Do you want to do your end, Alex?
I've got nothing, honestly. I mean,
okay.
That was fantastic. I was not expecting to get, because you see all these people, everyone scale, get patients, and the way you talk about it, and kind of what I love most, it was very you oriented. Like, yeah, we help dentists, but the way you go about it, what I think people struggle with, and I just started doing this. I just started posting stuff because my friends were like, dude, just get out there and say what's on your mind. And everyone has this image of the social media dentist. And the best clients, like you say, are the ones that, hey, I love TMJ treatment. I don't know if I'm the best, but I will be. That's my passion. That's what I want to focus on. I don't have to be someone else. And that's what you are helping people kind of get out of that. And that was kind of the point of like my organic question, is that not everyone's got to be a high-end cosmetic dentist. Not everyone's got to do veneers. Some people like, this and that. Some people, like I give the example of Tony, we want to be billion-dollar family dentists, right? But that's who we want to be. And I think it's great that you help people find themselves, as cliche as that is. And then you have all the systems and knowledge to kind of shoot them to the moon,
Yeah. And make money off of it, because at the end of the day, we all got to make money.
Yeah.
So we want to be you, but make money off
the way we want to do it, the right way, the one that feels most us, whatever that means to us.
I think that's the only way you can manage to do that, because now I'm 7 years now into doing this. And I was like, in my time in dental school, I was literally like, in a few years, I had like an average of like 5 hours of sleep. I would like wake up at 8, go to school, do my revision. Then it would be like 5 or 6. And then I would literally either like meet up with my business partner, or we would shoot content and then edit till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, go to bed. And consistently for the past 6, 7 years, it's now really this year that it really like paid out, like, where I'm really thinking like, thank God that I put in the sacrifice. But to sustain that, you need to do something that you're really passionate about and that you can grow with. And like you said also, you need like just stick to what you like and create a content about it and make it as easy as possible for yourself. Because so many people try to be someone on social media that is not them. Like it would be me right now talking like 3 tips on how to get more leads, but this is not me. I'm a guy, I love traveling. I like experiencing like things, do meet up with friends and talk about business. And so I'm like, this is how I want to create my content. And I would say this is also why the brands always grow then suddenly that quick, because people can feel that. They can feel if you make up a character or if it's really just you being passionate about what you do.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. I was going to stop the podcast before we said all this. I think this past 3 minutes, that was like the most impactful stuff. So, like, just don't stop. I'm like 2 weeks into posting. Tony's been doing this for 3 years. You've been doing this for 7. No one knows where they're going to be in 7 years. I bet this is not what you imagined, but I bet it's incredible. Like, it's probably still incredible seeing what you've accomplished and what you're going to accomplish. So again, thank you. I would recommend anyone, like, for the next, after I edit this, just go learn everything you can from Dr. Nies. Anything he puts out, like, it is A1 top tier content. So again, I can't thank you enough.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.